Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera Hashgraph. Now I do want to compare Hbar with a few assets, and I also want to put into perspective what we could be expecting from Hbar this year around. Now again, I'm going to make sure that we account for circulating supply to, of course, market cap and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, while I talk about that, I do want to open up coin perspective real quick. And wow, I did not mean to do percentage calculator, but actually while we're there, I do want to open up the percentage calculator and really kind of show you the percentage gains that we could be possibly looking at if Hbar does kind of continue up with a lot of these other altcoins and kind of catch up in the market. So overall, I know a lot of people are frustrated with Hbar. Trust me, I am myself. I do want to see us get some major gains already. I want to see us kind of compete with other assets alike. And I just addressed this in my video from earlier today, or actually just recently. We were talking about FTM, and we were also talking about a few other altcoins in regards to Hbar. You know, a lot of people were holding XRP before, blast off to $1 plus. And a lot of people have to hold assets for a fairly long time before those gains are actually made. Take Solana for an example, right? A lot of people were probably tired of listening to, they were probably tired of looking at Solana. They were saying, listen, the price is going nowhere, but the problem is that people won't be able to hodl for a long time to actually capitalize on those major gains. For example, if you were holding back here pretty much a year ago, right, at around $1.88, you were seeing some percentage gains. Here it's going to $10. It ran all the way to $15 plus, kind of consolidated for a few months, but the major gains didn't really start to happen until around, I would say, May, right? This is May in regards to seeing $55, almost $56. Then it kind of crashed, kind of consolidated for a while, kind of stayed stagnant a little bit. But then those major gains happened in August, okay? So it took it almost took a whole year, technically speaking. It took around 10 months for it to get to about $78 from $1.88. But that is worth waiting for. That is massive gains. Then, of course, it tops out at around $191, and I still think that this has a lot of juice left in it. But that is the goal of patience in this market. Patience is the winning virtue tool throughout this entire market that will really allow you to capitalize on those major gains. For an example, do you think a lot of people were holding, all through this entire time, capitalizing on those 11,600% gains, or AXS, right? There's a few winners out there, but there's a lot of losers. For an example, even Polygon or Matic. I stood in Matic for a long time at 30 cents. And I was like, come on, is this thing going to ever move? Then it did. And I couldn't be more, happier when it did start to actually jump out of that 30-cent range. And that is what we are going to see with Hbar as well. So before we fully jump into this video, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys do want my personal exit strategies, all that kind of stuff, the best deal right now is the Ultimate Crusader Trading Pack on my website. This includes all future content for free. This price does increase every single time that a new product comes out. I released 3 new products today. I will probably be releasing 3 new products this week as well. Now here is everything that is included in it. There's pretty much over an hour plus of content that really kind of allows you to capitalize on the market. So if you guys are interested in that, you guys are more than welcome to do so on NCashOfficial.com. But with that being said, let's talk about Hbar. So listen, we're getting some volume flowing in. We're seeing Hbar kind of, break out a little bit in price because of the USDC announcement, but we already knew that announcement was coming. Listen, this price action is not that strong. It's not that great. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. This is my number 1 holding asset. You guys don't think that I want this to go to the moon and beyond? Of course I do. I want this to pump to, $5 to $10 to $100. I want this to be my life-changing wealth asset, and it will be, right? As soon as we get to that point, we just have to wait a little bit more. And when we're talking about the long-term basis behind Hbar, I think that this is the parabolic floor that we are building right now. I think that this is that nice consolidation that we did back, when we initially broke out. And right now, we're not consolidating for that long. If we're going off of the day that the all-time high was made to, where we currently are, this is about 31 days of consolidation. That is not long. Trust me, if you guys think that that is long, remember when we were doing this? Remember when we were talking about the major consolidation that we had until we broke out of the, all-time high? Yeah, that took us roughly 181 days. Okay, so that took us from March 16th all the way to September. So that is a fairly long time when we're looking at that. That's about roughly almost half a year. Actually, it's like around 7 months. So that, compared to what we are seeing now, is going to be pretty much unregarded, right? We're going to be seeing a little bit of a shorter time basis on this consolidation. It will most likely take us a little bit more time, but I'm not expecting too much longer. Most likely, if we could see Bitcoin kind of rally by the end of this month and kind of sit a little bit stagnant while altcoins kind of get their runs, or possibly even, Bitcoin aiming for the all-time high plus and going into a little bit of a FOMO, pump, that will be the basis for alts to really kind of run, and I'm waiting for that day very, very patiently, just along with you guys as well, and I will obviously update you guys along through the market when we do get that time in this market. Now, we are watching the Bitcoin pair closely as we do get a little bit of some, volume flowing in. We're kind of bouncing off of that bottom support at around 579 sats. Overall, I'm not too happy with the overall support right now, and I'm not happy with the volume. I actually want a lot more volume on this chart to really kind of validate us to go higher. I'm personally not seeing that, which is why I'm still waiting on the sidelines to buy the dip. I'm actually waiting for a lot lower price action on Hbar. I'm sitting here. I'm very patient. I'm sitting on my hands, making sure not to hit the buy button. So I'm waiting alongside with you guys. Now, in regards to percentage and price action, where could we be seeing Hbar? Well, first off, we compare it to other altcoins. Right now, a lot of people are comparing FTM to Hbar. Just so you guys know, Hbar is pretty much around the pinpoint of Phantom's market cap. That is why Phantom is moving up a lot easier than Hbar. If we're looking at here, look at Phantom's, circulating supply and stuff like that. Circulating supply is roughly 2.5 billion. We have a lot more within that, and of course, the market cap is fairly minimal. So when we're comparing these two, it's fairly hard to compare them in that aspect. Now, I will say this, when we're comparing it to something like even Matic, the percentage gains and the overall price doesn't really matter too much. Like right now, Hbar would be around 69 cents. Love that number. If it was around Polygon's market cap. Overall, though, I think that Hbar is in store for some major percentage gains. Just so you know, right now, Phantom did roughly about 12,615% of an increase in price. Hbar hasn't really done too much. We're actually sitting around here at about 1,000 flat. So just imagine if we did another 11,000% of an increase in price. Just so you guys know, 11,000% of our current price at around 36 cents, I'm just going to roughly estimate it, we would be worth almost $40, which is crazy to say the least. What would our market cap be at $40? Well, it would only be 594 billion. And when I say only, don't worry, I'm not underestimating, or I'm not underestimating the value of $594 billion, because that would be pretty much essentially the market cap of, even Ethereum. I think it's actually more than Ethereum. Yeah, it's more than Ethereum. Don't get me wrong. I think that is possible. It's definitely not possible this bull run, though. I don't think that happens this bull run. But hey, I'd love to be proven wrong. Now, I do think that $10 is reasonable. I think that we can get there. That's $148.5 billion market cap. Even at some of these other evaluations for something like Dogecoin and stuff, these assets hit some high targets already this bull run. Even Shiba Inu, right? If we had the market cap of Shiba Inu, we'd obviously be a little bit higher. It wouldn't be too much though. It'd be around 70 plus some cents. But if we do have the market cap of Dogecoin currently, that's where we could kind of see some value being unlocked. We'd be worth about $2.32. But of course, we always kind of compare it to ADA. And when we're talking about ADA, yeah, we'd be worth about $4.64, which I think is fairly reasonable, around the $3 to $6 range. And again, when we're talking about the long-term basis, $10 to $15, that's where we do look at Bitcoin kind of doing that nice parabolic blow-off top event. Now, what I'm going to tell you guys right now, with a lot of these altcoins, we had to be patient. Just so you guys know, with Matic right now, what we really kind of want to see in regards to price action for Hbar is something where we see a little bit of a bounce off of the major bottom of Bitcoin in regards to the Matic Bitcoin chart. This is a perfect example of what I want to see right now with, Hbar. It bottomed out on some major support going all the way back as early as May 14th. But now we see a little bit of a reversal happen. Now, this actually happened on FTMs, except it happened on a wider scale. And this is probably what the future holds for Matic. I wouldn't be surprised if Matic had a nice little parabolic shift. We're actually seeing the volume decrease on the Bitcoin pair, which obviously will tell us that FTM is probably going to have a pullback, but it doesn't matter, right? Because look at this massive consolidation that it did before it had this nice parabolic run. Again, when we're talking about the long-term basis behind a lot of these altcoins, it's patience. This is May 20th all the way to around the main jump out point of August 31st, 103 days. And don't get me wrong, we're not going to have to wait 103 days. I'm just saying a lot of these altcoins take a lot of patience. FTM on the USD chart, we could see that patience paying dividends down here at around 20 some cents. It did pretty much a 10x already off of those nice price points. When we're looking at this, again, when we're talking about where it kind of retested the all-time high, it's around 105 days. Sort of the same as around the Bitcoin price chart as well. These follow through, pretty much perfectly. They are pretty much identical. It's just the idea of FTM's strength with Bitcoin. It means that money's flowing into FTM when we do see a major breakout point like this. Now, again, FTM is kind of showing us what we are in store for a lot of our altcoins. Now, this didn't do too crazy of a run. Don't get me wrong. You could have got this for 2 cents and like 1 cent and stuff. But when we're talking about the runs that this did, for the market cap of it, it's actually severely undervalued still if it is copying Hbar in regards to ABFT. So I don't know. I didn't do too much research on FTM to really kind of understand the idea of them copying the ABFT, but I know that a lot of people in the Hedera community have done research on that and pretty much pinpointed why and how they stole that code. It doesn't matter though, right? It made some major gains. I still expect Hbar to make some sort of gains like this, but we really want the Bitcoin price chart for Hbar to look something like this. Or, in the beginning, this is the beginning of what's to break out for Matic, and I think that this is going to pretty much rise and retest a major resistance point somewhere around here. Now, this is not a Matic video, but I'm just saying, if we were looking at this, right, this is what we want to kind of see, right? Now, I will say this in regards to percentages. Look at Solana's percentage run this year. 8,400%. If we did another 7,000% of a run to kind of meet that number, which I think that we could, it would be $25.20. Now, do I think that this is possible, this bull run? No. Do I think that we could do this? Yes, if we get a massive parabolic run on Bitcoin, which I'm still not expecting. But it's interesting to look at these percentages gained on a lot of these altcoins. Even Matic, 8,500%. That's fairly reasonable, but again, we're looking at the circulating supply. This is the only time that I'm looking at circulating supply opposed to the utility-driven market that we will most likely see, because it does matter. But percentages within this market, we haven't seen a lot of these percentages actually gain throughout this entire market. If we actually go to the top gainers, of course, the top gainers list will be different, but we are seeing some nice parabolic shifts throughout the market. Like year to date on Doge is up, 4,400%. Okay, if we do another 3,000%, which I think is reasonable, we'd be at around my price target of $10. That is why I think $10 is reasonable to see this bull run. I still think that $10 is possible, and I think that honestly, we could see it. Is it a 100% possibility guarantee? Absolutely not. But when we're talking about what Hbar really wants to do and what it needs to do, we need strength on the Bitcoin pair. Do I think that we're going to see that fairly soon? Most likely around the November time basis. I think November is the key month to watch for, especially for a lot of altcoins, because that's the time where a lot of altcoins start to run, especially if we look back to 2017, 2018. Now, Hbar is a little bit different because we don't have a past bull run to go off of. This is Hbar's bull run. This is the first bull run for Hbar. So I'm actually excited to see what happens, because this is going to tell us a lot of what the future could hold for Hbar in regards to bull run percentages. But I'm fairly happy right now in regards to Hbar kind of consolidating here. I know that a lot of people aren't happy about that, but it is what it is. We've waited patiently back here. I'm fine waiting another couple days or weeks or whatever to really kind of see the true value being unlocked, because once we do get past this all-time high here, and I know a lot of people are probably going to say, well, dude, you said that about the last all-time high. And look at it, right? We made some major gains off of that run, especially off of these major lows back here. But still, once we get over this level here, that's the parabolic shift. That's where we target $1 plus easily. That is also where we target those high targets. I think that by the time that we get into that price discovery phase, I think that that's where we target our all-time highs and also our topping points for Hbar. So I'm watching Hbar closely because I think that Hbar is probably going to show us a lot of movement in the coming weeks to months. And when I say months, most likely the next 2 months. So watch out for Hbar closely because this one is going to do something incredible. I truly see it because when we look at other assets alike, or when we just look at other altcoins right now in this market, I see a lot of altcoins doing the same thing before they get their major breakout point, like FTM did. Just so you guys know, look at FTM on the USD pair, right? It made its all-time high, pulled back, consolidated for a little bit of time. If we're actually looking here, it consolidated for roughly about 26 days, so a little bit shorter time span than Hbar right now, because Hbar on the USD pair has been consolidating for about 31 days, but it doesn't matter. Once we get a little bit more confirmation on our consolidation points, I think it goes hand in hand with what Bitcoin's doing right now. Okay, and I still think that we expect a little bit of a pullback on Bitcoin, but I think Bitcoin is ultimately still gaining traction. I still think that it's eyeing the all-time high, and we will see that. We just have to play into the volatility that will most likely play out this week, but I think that we are extremely close to financial freedom, in which I said it even on my Twitter, because we are closing the gap in on the nice pattern points of the past bull run pattern. So overall, with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys don't want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.